Commander Thurok stood on the bridge of the Therian flagship, his mandibles twitching with anticipation. Before him stretched the vast expanse of space, speckled with distant stars and the ominous outline of planet Terra on the view screen. The Therian Empire had set its sights on this unassuming planet, ripe for conquest in their relentless pursuit of galactic dominance. Thurok was a seasoned warrior, known for his strategic brilliance and unwavering determination. He had led numerous campaigns across the galaxy, subjugating countless species under the banner of the Therian Empire. Terra, however, presented a new challenge, rumored to possess resources and strategic value that could bolster the Empire's might even further. "Prepare the fleet," Thurok commanded, his voice resonating with authority. "We will make planetfall within the hour." Around him, the bridge hummed with activity as officers and technicians carried out his orders with practiced efficiency. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing the positions of Therian warships and the trajectory towards Terra. Thurok watched intently as the tactical data updated in real time, confirming the deployment readiness of his formidable fleet. "Commander," a voice called out from behind him. It was Lieutenant Vrex, Thurok's trusted second-in-command. "Scouts report minimal resistance expected from the planet's defenses." Thurok nodded, his eyes narrowing with focused determination. "Good. The humans have no idea what awaits them." For decades, the Therian Empire had expanded its reach through conquest and assimilation. Species after species had fallen to their superior technology and military prowess. Terra, with its primitive yet stubborn inhabitants, posed a different kind of challenge. The humans had displayed resilience and an unwillingness to yield, characteristics that both intrigued and irritated Thurok. As the fleet prepared to enter Terra's orbit, Thurok couldn't help but recall the warnings from the Galactic Council about the humans. They had been deemed a potential threat, a species capable of defiance and unexpected innovation. Thurok scoffed at the notion. He had faced many so-called threats before, and none had proven capable of withstanding the might of the Therian Empire. "ETA to Terra's orbit, Commander," Lieutenant Vrex reported, breaking Thurok's reverie. Thurok straightened, his posture rigid with anticipation. "Prepare the invasion force. We will make a swift and decisive strike. The humans will learn the cost of defying the Therian Empire." As the Therian fleet descended towards Terra, their sleek warships shimmering with advanced weaponry and shielding, Thurok's mind raced with visions of victory. The humans, unaware of the impending doom, would soon feel the weight of their arrogance. Entering Terra's atmosphere now, Lieutenant Vrex announced, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. Thurok's mandibles flexed in a predatory grin. "Prepare to deploy ground forces. We will establish control swiftly and efficiently." The Therian fleet pierced through the atmosphere of Terra, darkening the skies with their imposing presence. Below, the unsuspecting humans went about their daily lives, unaware of the imminent threat descending upon them from the stars above. "Commander," a technician called out, pointing to a blip on the sensor readings. "We're detecting human energy signatures. They're scrambling their defenses." Thurok's eyes gleamed with anticipation. "Let them try to resist. They will soon learn the futility of defiance against the Therian Empire." With that, the Therian invasion force moved inexorably towards the surface of Terra, poised to unleash their conquest upon a world that had never known the true meaning of interstellar war. Admiral Harper stood on the command deck of the United Earth Defense Fleet flagship, his gaze fixed on the holographic displays that showed the approaching Therian warships. Around him, crew members moved with purpose, preparing for the inevitable clash with the alien invaders. "Status report," Harper commanded, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. Captain Lee, his second-in-command, stepped forward, her expression determined. "All fleet units are at battle stations, Admiral. Orbital defense platforms are online and ready. Ground-based missile silos are primed for activation upon your command." Harper nodded, his jaw tightening with resolve. "Send a broadcast to all units. Prepare for engagement. The Therians are about to learn that Earth is not to be trifled with." As the message went out across the fleet, Harper couldn't help but feel a surge of pride in humanity's unity and determination. For years, Earth had watched as the Therian Empire expanded its reach across the galaxy, subjugating weaker species without mercy. Now, they had come for Earth, underestimating the spirit of defiance that burned brightly within its inhabitants. Admiral, Lieutenant Patel called out from the sensor station. Therian fleet entering optimal firing range. Harper turned to the tactical display, his eyes narrowing as he studied the advancing enemy formations. The Therian warships gleamed ominously, their advanced technology evident even from a distance. "Prepare to engage," Harper ordered, his voice echoing across the command deck. The United Earth Defense Fleet sprung into action, maneuvering into defensive formations and activating their own advanced weaponry. The orbital defense platforms hummed to life, their targeting systems locking onto the approaching Therian vessels. Enemy ships within firing range, Captain Lee reported, her voice crisp with urgency. "Steady," Harper replied, his hands clasped behind his back. "Hold formation until they commit to an attack." The moment stretched into eternity as the two forces stared each other down across the void of space. Harper knew that the first volley would determine the course of the battle. Earth's survival depended on their ability to withstand and repel the Therian assault. "Admiral," Lieutenant Patel called out again, his voice tense. "Therian fleet deploying energy buildup. They're preparing to unleash their weapons." Harper's heart raced, adrenaline coursing through his veins. "Steady," he repeated, his voice a command of steel. "Hold." Suddenly, the Therian warships opened fire, unleashing a barrage of plasma bolts and energy beams towards Earth's defenses. The space around them erupted into chaos as the United Earth Defense Fleet retaliated with equal ferocity, their own weapons lighting up the darkness of space. "Orbital defense platforms engaging," Captain Lee announced, her voice cutting through the din of battle. "Missile silos launching." Harper watched with grim satisfaction as Earth's defenses held strong against the initial onslaught. The Therians, confident in their superiority, pressed forward, but Earth's determination was unwavering. "Return fire," Harper commanded, his voice a thunderous roar that reverberated through the command deck. The United Earth Defense Fleet responded with precision, their firepower concentrated on weakening the Therian advance. Despite the odds, Harper knew that they had prepared for this moment. Years of research, development, and unity had culminated in this battle to defend their home. As the battle raged on, Harper remained resolute, his eyes fixed on the tactical displays that showed the ebb and flow of combat. The Therians, taken aback by Earth's resilience, adjusted their tactics, but every maneuver was met with a calculated response from the human forces. "Admiral," Captain Lee reported, her voice tinged with urgency, "we're holding them, but casualties are mounting. We need reinforcements." Harper nodded, his mind racing with the weight of command. "Contact the Planetary Defense Command. Mobilize reserves. We will not yield." The battle for Earth had begun, and Admiral Harper and his fleet were determined to show the Therians that humanity's spirit could not be conquered. Admiral Harper stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching the tactical displays with a mixture of determination and concern. The battle against the Therian invasion force had been raging for hours, each side testing the other's resolve and capabilities in the unforgiving expanse of space. "Status report," Harper called out, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. Captain Lee, her brow furrowed in concentration, stepped forward to deliver the grim update. "Admiral, casualties are mounting across the fleet. Our reserves are holding, but we're stretched thin. The Therians are relentless." Harper clenched his jaw, the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He knew that Earth's defenses were holding, but at great cost. The Therians, though formidable, had underestimated humanity's resolve and ingenuity. "Continue to hold the line," Harper ordered, his tone firm. "We cannot afford to falter now." As the battle continued to unfold, the tide began to turn in unexpected ways. Earth's orbital defense platforms, bolstered by the latest advancements in technology and coordinated firepower, managed to inflict significant damage on the Therian warships. Salvos of missiles and precision laser strikes targeted vulnerable points in the enemy fleet, causing chaos amidst their ranks. "Admiral," Lieutenant Patel called out, his voice tinged with disbelief, "the Therian flagship is retreating." Harper's eyes widened slightly at the revelation. The Therian flagship, a symbol of their command and control, was pulling back from the front lines. It was a move that spoke volumes about the shifting dynamics of the battle. "Focus fire on their retreating vessels," Harper ordered, seizing the opportunity presented by the enemy's momentary retreat. "We must press our advantage." The United Earth Defense Fleet responded with renewed vigor, concentrating their firepower on the retreating Therian ships. Laser cannons and plasma bolts streaked through space, finding their marks with deadly accuracy. Explosions blossomed against the backdrop of stars as Therian vessels succumbed to Earth's relentless assault. "Admiral," Captain Lee reported, her voice filled with a mix of caution and optimism, "the Therians are regrouping. They're attempting to form a defensive perimeter." Harper nodded, his mind racing with strategic calculations. "Maintain pressure," he instructed, his voice projecting across the command deck. "Coordinate with ground-based forces. We cannot allow them to regain their footing." On the surface of Earth, ground-based defenses sprang into action, coordinating with the fleet above to create a seamless web of resistance against the Therian incursion. Advanced energy shields absorbed enemy fire, while ground-based artillery and missile silos unleashed devastating salvos at the Therian ground forces attempting planetary assault. The battle raged on, the skies above Terra filled with the thunderous exchange of firepower and the resilience of humanity's defense. Harper watched as Earth's forces pushed back against the Therian onslaught, inch by hard-won inch. Each victory came at a price, but it fueled the determination of every soldier, pilot, and crew member fighting to protect their world. "Admiral," Lieutenant Patel called out, his voice tinged with cautious optimism, "the Therians are withdrawing. Their forces are retreating from our airspace." Harper allowed himself a moment of cautious relief. "Well done, everyone," he said, his voice carrying across the bridge. "Prepare to mop up remaining resistance. We have shown the Therians that Earth is not to be taken lightly." As the remnants of the Therian invasion force retreated into the depths of space, humanity's victory over the initial assault was celebrated with a mixture of relief and resolve. The battle for Earth had been won, but the war against the Therian Empire was far from over. Harper knew that the coming days would bring new challenges and battles, but for now, Earth stood united and victorious against the might of the stars. Admiral Harper sat in the command center of the flagship, surrounded by the hum of activity as reports and data streamed in from across the fleet and planetary defenses. The recent victory against the Therian invasion force had bolstered morale, but Harper knew that complacency could be just as dangerous as the enemy they had just faced. "Status update," Harper called out, his voice cutting through the controlled chaos of the command center. Captain Lee, her expression reflecting a mix of exhaustion and determination, stepped forward with the latest intelligence. "Admiral, our forces are regrouping and tending to the wounded. Casualties were heavy, but we managed to repel the Therians from our airspace. Ground-based defenses are reporting minor incursions that are being swiftly dealt with." Harper nodded, taking in the information with a stoic demeanor. "What's the status of our reserves and reinforcements?" "Reserves are being mobilized from neighboring sectors," Captain Lee replied. "They are expected to arrive within the next 12 hours. Our engineers are also working around the clock to repair damaged ships and enhance our defensive capabilities." "Good," Harper acknowledged, his mind already shifting to the next phase of their defense strategy. "Coordinate with Planetary Command to ensure that we're prepared for any further incursions. I want our defenses reinforced and operational within the hour." As Captain Lee relayed the orders to her crew, Harper's thoughts turned to the broader strategic implications of their recent victory. The Therians had been driven back, but their initial assault had revealed vulnerabilities in Earth's defenses that could not be ignored. "Admiral," Lieutenant Patel interjected, his voice tinged with urgency, "we're receiving reports of Therian communications intercepted during the battle. They're regrouping their forces and rallying reinforcements from nearby sectors." Harper leaned forward, his brow furrowed in concern. "How soon until they're expected to arrive?" Lieutenant Patel consulted the data scrolling across his console. "Estimates suggest they could arrive within 48 hours, depending on their speed of travel." Harper nodded grimly, knowing that Earth's respite would be short-lived. The Therians, driven by a desire for vengeance and the need to salvage their damaged pride, would not hesitate to launch another assault. "Prepare a fleet-wide broadcast," Harper commanded, his voice firm. "Inform all units that we're entering high alert status. I want patrols intensified and readiness protocols enacted immediately." As the orders were carried out, Harper contemplated their next move. The recent victory had been a testament to humanity's resilience, but they needed to capitalize on their momentum. They had shown the Therians that Earth was not defenseless, but now they needed to prove that their victory was not a fluke. "Admiral," Captain Lee spoke up, drawing Harper's attention, "we've received reports from reconnaissance drones. Therian fleet movements indicate they're consolidating their forces at a staging area within the neighboring sector." Harper nodded thoughtfully. "Plot a course for the fleet. I want to see these movements firsthand." As the flagship's course was adjusted and the fleet prepared to move out, Harper turned his attention to the holographic displays that showed the Therian staging area. They had repelled the initial assault, but the true test of their defenses lay ahead. Earth's survival depended on their ability to anticipate and counter the Therian Empire's next move. "Prepare for jump," Harper announced, his voice a steady command amidst the preparations. "We'll show the Therians that Earth is ready for whatever they throw at us." With those words, the fleet surged forward, engines humming with purpose as they moved to confront the looming threat on the horizon. The battle for Earth had only just begun, and Admiral Harper was determined to lead humanity to victory, no matter the cost. Admiral Harper stood on the bridge of the flagship, his gaze fixed on the swirling expanse of space ahead. The fleet had jumped to the outskirts of the neighboring sector, where intelligence had pinpointed the Therian staging area. As they approached, tension hung thick in the air, each crew member keenly aware of the impending confrontation. "Status report," Harper called out, his voice projecting authority amidst the controlled chaos of the bridge. Captain Lee, her eyes focused on the tactical displays, stepped forward to deliver the latest updates. "Admiral, we've entered the designated sector. Therian fleet movements confirm our intelligence. They've assembled a substantial force, including dreadnoughts and support vessels." Harper nodded grimly, his mind already calculating their next moves.
Deploie reconnaissance drone.
"I want detailed scans of their fleet composition and defensive positions." As the drones were launched and began transmitting data, Harper studied the holographic projections that materialized before him. Therian warships, sleek and imposing, formed a defensive perimeter around a central command vessel. It was a formidable sight, a testament to the Therian Empire's military prowess and determination to reclaim lost ground. "Admiral," Lieutenant Patel called out, his voice tinged with concern, "Therian fleet movements suggest they're preparing for an offensive maneuver. They're adjusting their formations." Harper narrowed his eyes, his jaw set with determination. "Prepare the fleet for engagement. Maintain our defensive posture and be ready to respond to any hostile actions." The United Earth Defense Fleet assumed battle formations, each ship aligning itself strategically in preparation for the imminent clash. Weapons systems hummed with charged energy, crews poised at their stations with focused intensity. "Admiral," Captain Lee reported, her voice steady despite the escalating tension, "the drones have completed their scans. We have comprehensive data on Therian fleet positions and vulnerabilities." Harper studied the data intently, identifying potential weak points and strategic advantages. "Target their command vessel," he instructed, his voice calm yet resolute. "We need to disrupt their chain of command and sow confusion among their ranks." As the fleet prepared to execute Harper's orders, a sudden burst of static filled the bridge, followed by the urgent voice of Lieutenant Commander Chen, stationed at communications. "Admiral, incoming transmission from Therian Command," Chen reported, her voice carrying a mix of urgency and challenge. Harper nodded to acknowledge the communication. "Patch it through," he commanded, steeling himself for whatever message the Therians intended to deliver. The holographic display flickered momentarily before resolving into the image of Commander Keth, a Therian officer known for his tactical acumen and fierce loyalty to the Empire. His expression was stoic, betraying no hint of the internal turmoil Harper suspected lay beneath the surface. "Admiral Harper," Commander Keth began, his voice carrying across the bridge with an air of authority, "you have proven to be a formidable adversary. But your victory today will be short-lived. Surrender now, and your people may yet know mercy." Harper's jaw clenched at the audacity of the Therian commander's words. "We've already shown you that Earth will not yield," he replied, his tone unwavering. "Prepare for battle, Commander Keth. We'll settle this here and now." Commander Keth's expression hardened, his eyes narrowing in determination. "So be it," he replied, his voice carrying a note of finality. "Prepare to face the full might of the Therian Empire." With that, the transmission ended, leaving an ominous silence in its wake. Harper turned to his command staff, his gaze sweeping across their faces, each reflecting the steely resolve that had defined Earth's defense against the Therian onslaught. "All ships, stand ready," Harper announced, his voice projecting across the fleet-wide comms. "This is it. We defend Earth with everything we have." As the Therian and Earth fleets maneuvered into position, tension mounted with each passing second. The fate of Earth hung in the balance once more, a testament to humanity's resolve and the unwavering determination to protect their home at all costs. Admiral Harper stood at the command center of the flagship, his gaze fixed on the looming Therian fleet ahead. The moment of confrontation had arrived, and the fate of Earth hung precariously in the balance. Around him, the bridge hummed with tense energy as crew members monitored their stations with unwavering focus. "Status report," Harper commanded, his voice steady despite the weight of the impending battle. Captain Lee stepped forward, her expression resolute as she relayed the latest updates. "Admiral, Therian fleet is advancing. They're maintaining their defensive formation, but appear to be preparing for an offensive strike." Harper nodded, his mind racing through tactical options. "Signal all ships to maintain formation. Prepare to engage on my mark," he ordered, his voice projecting calm authority. As the United Earth Defense Fleet adjusted its position, Harper's attention shifted to the holographic display showing the Therian fleet's movements. The enemy's dreadnoughts and support vessels glinted ominously, their sheer size and firepower a stark reminder of the formidable challenge ahead. "Admiral," Lieutenant Commander Chen interjected, her voice urgent, "Therian vessels are charging their weapons. They're preparing to fire." Harper clenched his jaw, steeling himself for the onslaught. "Activate defensive shields. All ships, prepare to return fire. Target their command vessels and disable their communications," he ordered, his voice echoing through the bridge. The fleet responded swiftly, energy shields flickering to life as weapons systems powered up in anticipation of the coming battle. Across the void of space, Therian warships unleashed a barrage of plasma bolts and energy beams, casting ominous streaks of light against the backdrop of stars. "Return fire," Harper commanded, his voice cutting through the chaos of battle. The flagship shuddered as it unleashed a torrent of counterattacks, plasma cannons and railguns blazing with deadly accuracy. On the tactical display, Harper watched as the engagement unfolded with relentless intensity. Human ships maneuvered with precision, weaving through the barrage of Therian firepower while targeting vulnerable points in the enemy's formation. "Admiral, their command vessel is taking significant damage," Captain Lee reported, her voice tinged with cautious optimism. "Their communications are disrupted." Harper nodded, a flicker of hope igniting within him. "Keep the pressure on. Coordinate with ground-based defenses to maximize our advantage," he ordered, his gaze unwavering as he monitored the battle's progress. As the battle raged on, the Therian fleet struggled to maintain cohesion under the relentless assault from Earth's defense forces. Human ships exploited gaps in the enemy's defenses, inflicting heavy losses on Therian vessels while minimizing casualties on their own side. "Admiral, the Therians are beginning to retreat," Lieutenant Patel announced, his voice tinged with disbelief. "Their fleet is dispersing." Harper allowed himself a brief moment of relief, his shoulders relaxing slightly as the realization of their victory settled in. "Maintain pursuit. Ensure they do not regroup," he commanded, his voice firm with determination. As Earth's defense fleet continued to press the advantage, the Therian remnants scattered into the depths of space, their once imposing formation now shattered and in disarray. The battle for Earth's survival had been hard-fought, but humanity had emerged victorious once again. "Admiral, all Therian vessels have retreated," Captain Lee reported, her voice filled with a mix of exhaustion and triumph. Casualty reports are coming in. Damage assessments underway. Harper nodded, his gaze sweeping across the bridge crew with pride. Well done, everyone. We've defended Earth today, but our work is not yet done, he announced, his voice resonating with determination. As the bridge crew responded with affirmations and acknowledgments, Harper's thoughts turned to the future. The Therians had been repelled, but their tenacity and resolve meant that Earth's defenses would need to remain vigilant. Prepare a report for Earth Command, Harper instructed, his voice tinged with weary satisfaction. Inform them that the immediate threat has been neutralized, but we must remain vigilant. The Therians will not rest until they have exacted their revenge. With that, Admiral Harper turned his attention back to the tactical displays, his mind already beginning to strategize for the challenges that lay ahead. The battle for Earth's survival was far from over, and humanity would need to continue to stand united against any threat that dared to challenge their home among the stars. Admiral Harper stood on the observation deck of the flagship, gazing out at the distant stars. The recent victory over the Therian fleet had brought a momentary reprieve, but there was no time for complacency. Earth's defenses needed bolstering, and preparations for future engagements were already underway. In the aftermath of the battle, repair crews worked tirelessly to restore damaged ships while engineers assessed the effectiveness of new weapon systems and defensive measures. The sprawling space docks orbiting Earth bustled with activity as they refitted vessels and integrated captured Therian technology into human designs. Admiral, Commander Ramirez approached, her expression a mix of weariness and determination. The repair estimates are coming in. We're looking at 2 weeks before the fleet is fully operational again. Harper nodded thoughtfully, acknowledging the challenges ahead. Make sure the crews get the rest they need. We pushed them hard, but their resilience was key to our victory, he replied, his voice reflecting both pride and concern for his crew. As the days passed, intelligence reports indicated increased Therian activity along the frontier. Patrols reported skirmishes with Therian scouting parties probing Earth's defenses, testing for weaknesses. Admiral, Lieutenant Commander Chin reported, her voice tinged with urgency. Therian scout vessels have been spotted near the Kuiper Belt. They're probing our outer defenses. Harper furrowed his brow, considering the implications. Prepare a task force to intercept them. We can't afford to let them gather intelligence on our defenses, he ordered, his tone decisive as he formulated a response. The skirmishes escalated as Therian forces tested Earth's resolve, probing for vulnerabilities and attempting to exploit any weaknesses they could find. Each encounter served as a grim reminder that the Therians remained a formidable adversary, relentless in their pursuit of revenge. Admiral, we've intercepted Therian communications, Lieutenant Patel reported, his voice filled with urgency. They're regrouping their fleet, preparing for another assault. Harper's jaw tightened as he absorbed the news. Signal all ships to prepare for immediate deployment. We can't let them catch us off guard, he commanded, his voice betraying the weight of responsibility. The fleet mobilized with practiced efficiency, crews working feverishly to ready their vessels for the impending confrontation. Earth's defense network was bolstered by new technologies gleaned from captured Therian ships, giving humanity an edge they hadn't possessed in previous engagements. Admiral, Captain Lee approached, her demeanor resolute. Our defenses are as fortified as they can be. We're ready for whatever the Therians throw at us. Harper nodded, a sense of grim determination settling over him. Maintain readiness. This battle will test us, but we've proven that humanity will not yield, he replied, his voice carrying the weight of their collective resolve. As the Therian fleet approached once more, tension gripped the bridge of the flagship. Crew members monitored their stations with focused intensity, each one aware of the stakes involved in the coming battle. Admiral, Therian fleet is entering firing range, Commander Ramirez reported, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. Harper took a deep breath, his gaze fixed on the tactical display. Steady, everyone. Hold formation and wait for my mark, he commanded, his voice projecting calm authority amid the escalating chaos. The Therian vessels closed in, weapons charging as they prepared to unleash another wave of devastation upon Earth's defenders. The silence on the bridge was palpable, broken only by the hum of machinery and the distant echoes of battle approaching. "Fire at will," Harper ordered, his voice cutting through the tension. In a coordinated effort, Earth's defense fleet unleashed a torrent of firepower, targeting key Therian vessels with precision strikes. The battle erupted into a fierce exchange of fire, plasma bolts and energy beams lighting up the void of space as both sides fought with unyielding determination. Earth's defenders maneuvered with skill and strategy, exploiting weaknesses in the Therian formation while holding their ground against overwhelming odds. "Admiral, their command ship is taking heavy damage," Captain Lee reported, her voice filled with a mix of exhaustion and determination. "Their formation is breaking." Harper allowed himself a brief moment of relief, his shoulders relaxing slightly as the tide of battle turned in humanity's favor once again. "Press the advantage. Coordinate with ground-based defenses. We must ensure they do not regroup," he ordered, his voice firm with resolve. As Earth's defense fleet continued to unleash a relentless assault, the Therians were forced into a hasty retreat, their once imposing formation now fractured and in disarray. The battle had been hard-fought, but humanity had once again proven their resilience and determination in the face of adversity. "Admiral, Therian vessels are withdrawing," Lieutenant Patel reported, his voice tinged with a mix of relief and caution. Harper nodded, his expression grave as he considered the implications. "Prepare a full assessment of our casualties and damage. We must be ready for their next move," he replied, his voice tinged with weary determination. As the bridge crew carried out their duties with quiet efficiency, Harper's thoughts turned to the future. The Therians had been repelled once more, but their relentless pursuit of revenge meant that Earth's defenses would need to remain vigilant. The battle for humanity's survival was far from over, and Harper knew that they would need to continue to stand united against any threat that dared to challenge their home among the stars.